I have a negligible, which means I really have a very, very low score in auditory. Yeah. And I know that I just don't learn well through my ears. I have to see it, or I don't grasp it. I like to listen to music, you know, but when it comes to being told something, I really need to see it written down. So, why do we do this? Why bother? I mean, it's fun. It's interesting. We find out some interesting things about ourselves. But why, as teachers, is it important for us to know about perceptual learning styles?
To use it in class?
Yes, of course. Yes, to take it into consideration. All of your students have different combinations of their learning styles. So many of your students may be visual. Maybe the ones that are more interested in learning tend to be visual verbal, but not necessarily. So it's good to remind ourselves as teachers that we need to try to incorporate activities and learning objectives into our classes that actually reach students that have all of these different intelligences. So I think it's very important for us to know that our students have these learning styles, but I also think it's very important to remember that we as teachers, our natural instinct is going to be to teach the way we like to learn. When I am teaching in the classroom, the board is my absolute best friend. I spend a lot of time writing on the board because that's how I prefer to learn. So it's a constant, I always have to remind myself to include activities, learning techniques for the students that learn auditorily, that learn through movement, that learn through kinesthetic. It's something that I have to consciously think about when I'm doing my lesson planning. Otherwise, I'm very happy just with my board, you know, and moving around and stuff. But this is my favorite teaching tool. So it's very important for us to remember that it's going to be our natural way to teach is the way we like to learn. This is where peer observation can come in very handy. You might think that you're hitting all of these learning styles. Having somebody watch your class, take a look at your lesson plans might be a way to sort of highlight where you're missing. Just something that I realized from peer observation for me is that I tend to focus on this side of the classroom to the extent that I often don't even see what's happening on my right. So having an extra pair of eyes to sort of see what you're doing and help you realize can be helpful. All right, so we're going to move on. So this is our perceptual learning style. So basically it's sort of the basic way we take information in the most successfully. So we have a slightly more complicated topic about not only how we take in information, but really how we sort of process new information. Oh, actually, before I go any further, I always forget this. I have a handout for you of Perceptual Learning Styles websites. So if you're interested in this topic, you can go to these different websites. They give you more information about resources, some of the research behind it. This way. And then this way.